common thing that I see happening in Scrum teams and any product teams, to be honest, any product teams, is that they have contempt. They have contempt for their leadership. They have contempt for their company. They have contempt for their product. They have contempt for their customers, and they have contempt for the outcomes. This is a little bit more than they just don't care. It's they actively dislike, have disdain for choices that are made, and this is largely, I think, because those choices are made in spite of their opinions and their understanding of the product and the future of the product and the direction that the company needs to go. And choices are being made without their support is not the right word. Input might be the right words. They don't feel like they're listened to on their teams or as part of their organization, and that seems to be a trend of traditional organizations. Right? We're just gonna that pyramid, right? The alpha organizations. We're gonna steer from the top. Therefore, we actually don't care what the people on the ground say or do or understand. That's irrelevant. We're making the decisions at the top. And unfortunately, it's the people on the ground that tend to be closest to the market. It's the people at the top that tend to be furthest away from the market. And this constant ignoring of the realities of the market, the realities of the situation, the realities of the product, the realities of the quality of the product, breeds contempt in the people that are doing the work for the organization they work for. A great example is that I used to work for an organization in the UK, pretty near to where I live. This was back when I was an employee. And it was, I think, was it the last employee job I had? I think it was, no, it wasn't the last one, but it was one of the last ones that I had. And there was absolute, abject, and constant contempt by every single employee for the organization they worked for. So much so that they had a nickname for the company. The company at the time, I don't think it exists anymore. It was called Intelligent Finance. It was like an experiment. It was one of the first internet banks. But the nickname that the employees had as a group, or at least within the bounds of what I was interacting with, for the organization they worked for, they changed the intelligent to incompetent, and the F in finance to a Scottish term for somebody who's not very smart. Yes, one of those types of F words, right? It's even in the dictionary here. So if you're going to think of your company as incompetent, what does that mean for the attitude and investment that people bring to work every day? It's going to mean that it's reduced or doesn't even exist. There was a number of things that kind of led to that feeling. I remember while I was there was a new CIO for the organization. This new CIO for the organization admitted that he had trouble with email. So this is the chief information officer for the organization admitted that he struggled to leverage email as a tool. Right? It's just you can't make that up. Right? You couldn't make that up. The guy I sat next to at my desk was a user experience person, UX person. And he admitted to me that he felt like he was unemployable because he'd worked there for 4 years and not done anything new. Right? Think about those things. This was back in 2000 and I don't know, 2005, 2006. So we're pretty far into Windows 2000, right? We're pretty far into .NET framework and all of those capabilities. 4 or 5 years into .NET framework, and I had an NT4 workstation as a .NET developer. NT4 does not support .NET. So it took me weeks to get a badge, and then I had to request, using my badge, a machine to be installed under my desk that ran Windows 2000 that I could then remote into from my desktop. These things together, that disconnect, right? That's the focus here, that disconnect between what the people are doing and what the organization believes is happening in the direction they believe that they're going, is that problem that creates that kind of disgust, contempt for the organization that people work for. They don't believe that it's going anywhere. They don't believe that they're just there for the paycheck, and that's it. I quit. I was the shortest employee ever at this organization. I quit after 6 weeks. And I did not want to exist in that culture of contempt for their organization. One of my favorite sayings is change your company or change your company, right? So I went with my feet and walked out the door. What is your organizational culture? How do, if you're in leadership, how do the people on the ground see your organization? Do they believe in what you're doing? Do they feel like they're engaged and involved in what it is you're trying to achieve? Do they feel listened to? These are all the things that create a group of people that are engaged and want to see the organization succeed. Unhappy, sad people don't build amazing products. They build unhappy, sad products. So one of the roles, one of the core responsibilities and accountabilities of leadership is to create a happy, engaged workforce that wants the organization to succeed. And you can't do that by just telling people what to do. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through NKDAgility.